Getting the Hard Always Sudden T back with another EP. And y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Today we here for a good time, not a long time. We here with the fight breakdown prediction between Canelo Alvarez and Triple G Gennady Golovkin. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Now it's Canelo Alvarez fight week. I know, at least not to me, right? On my side and where I've been, right? It's like it's been a slow week. It's been a slow week for it to be, Canelo Alvarez fight week. I remember, there was a time, right, where Canelo Alvarez fight week was filled with excitement. For about 2 to 3 weeks before the fight ever even took place. You know what I mean? But these last couple Canelo fights ain't quite been, like the Canelo fights of old, as far as build up, anticipation, and all of that. And I think that has a lot to do with, Canelo Alvarez's opponent choice. Now, in actuality, Canelo Alvarez's last opponent, right, wasn't a bad opponent at all in Dimitri Bivol, 175-pound champion. You know what I mean, pound for pound, caliber fighter. And even that fight, right, it didn't really have the buzz that it was supposed to have. Now it over-delivered, right? The Bivol Canelo Alvarez fight, considering the buzz that it had, it did over-deliver, right? But for such a good fight, right, for such good fighters, Canelo Alvarez and Bivol, that fight didn't necessarily perform the way that you would have thought that it would have performed. Well, now we're back, with Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. Now, again, I was just stating Canelo Alvarez versus Bivol was a great fight, but it's not necessarily a fight that we asked for or wanted to see, right? So now Canelo Alvarez is giving us this Triple G fight, right? And now this Triple G fight with Canelo Alvarez, this is a fight, right, that we wanted to see from Canelo Alvarez. This is a fight that we wanted to see from Canelo Alvarez about 3 years ago, not in 2022. You catch my drift? You know what I mean? So this is another one of these fights. This is another one of these fights, right? This is another one of these fights, right, that we didn't necessarily ask for, you know what I mean? But we got to sit through it. You know what I mean? Truth be told, I feel like Canelo Alvarez right now, right, he should be fighting goddamn David Benavidez, or he should be fighting a guy like Jamal Charlo, or even at this point, right, he should be fighting Dimitri Bivol again, because that's the fight, that's the last fight that you had and you lost. All of those fights make perfect sense. But instead, we got Canelo Alvarez versus Triple G3. So let's go and do our due diligence. Let's get into it, because I ain't going to keep y'all here too long, you know what I mean? About to get into the fight breakdown and prediction portion of the video. So let me bring up this camera. Let me bring up the camera so y'all can see. We got Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is 57-2-2, 39 KOs. He's never been stopped in his career. 5'8", 70 and a half inch arm reach. 32 years old is Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is facing off against Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin is better known as Triple G. Triple G is 42-1-1, 37 KOs. He also has never been stopped in his career. Triple G is 40 years old, 5'10", with a 70-inch arm reach. So basically, these guys have the same arm reach. Or, you know what I mean? Triple G has faced off. His last fight was against Ryota Murata. He's faced off against Sergey Derevyanchenko, Steve Rose, Canelo twice, Venus Marjarosian, Daniel Jacobs, Kell Brook, David Lemieux, Willie Monroe Jr., Martin Murray. Just to name a few names that you guys may know. Curtis Stevens as well. And he facing off against Saul Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez, his last fight was against Dimitri Bivol, right? In which he lost to Dimitri Bivol. Before that, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, Andy Yildirim, Callum Smith. What's good, Just Dude? Sergey Kovalev, Daniel Jacobs, Rocky Fielding, Triple G twice, Julio Cesar Chavez, Liam Smith, Amir Khan, Miguel Cotto, Izzy Lara, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Austin Trout, Shane Mosley, just to name a few. Canelo Alvarez and Triple G in their last fight, Canelo Alvarez was seen victorious. He won the split decision over Triple G, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been unanimous. I think it was a split, right? He won the split decision over Triple G in their last fight. And in the fight before that, the fight was considered a draw. Now, in the very first fight, a lot of people feel like that Triple G actually won that fight, but it was called a draw, which led to the second fight taking place. And I think Canelo Alvarez was clearly victorious in the second fight. But even then, both fights were more than entertaining enough, right? Where the fans, right after the fight, the fans did want to see Triple G and Canelo face off for a third time. But at that time, Canelo Alvarez wasn't on board with a third face-off. Canelo Alvarez and Triple G, at that time, they did have, a real beef. They did have, real anger, towards each other at that very point. And Canelo Alvarez stated that because Triple G, has something to say about Canelo Alvarez taking steroids, because Triple G, had so much to say after the fight. Canelo Alvarez stated that I would never, ever give Triple G a third fight. And this is when, the fans and the people were calling for a third fight between the two. Canelo Alvarez came out and said, I'd never give Triple G a third fight. So there was a point where the people and the fans did want to see this fight. Since then, we've gotten past that. But I do remember a time where we were asking for this fight. You know what I mean? After the first two. The fight never happened. Canelo Alvarez said that he'd never fight Triple G again. So we kind of put that fight behind us. But Canelo Alvarez, was in talks to fight Jamal Charlo. Had everybody excited about that fight. And then Jamal Charlo talks quickly collapsed. And it came out that he will be fighting Triple G and Dimitri Bivol. And the backlash from it being announced that he will be fighting Triple G again in 2022, the people lost their mind. And then Dimitri Bivol was said to have been the fight that he would be taking first. I think the Bivol fight was taken first. So, they could say, oh, Canelo, he's fighting for titles. That's why he's not fighting Charlo. He didn't fight Charlo this time because he wanted to fight Bivol for a title. That's a better fight. You know what I mean? So he ended up fighting Bivol. He ended up losing, right? So now he's coming back to fight Triple G for a third time after saying the second time that he never fight Triple G again. Now, I personally feel like Triple G is being lined up to get Canelo Alvarez, back on the winning track. Triple G is being lined up to get Canelo Alvarez back on the winner's circle, right? I feel like that's why we're getting this fight again. And personally, in this fight, I feel like, man, we 3 to 4 years too late for this fight. I feel like if this fight had happened right after the second fight, then this fight would have been much more entertaining, much more entertainment value much more reasons for the fans to watch. At this point, none of us really want to see this fight. None of us really asked for this fight. I'm expecting Canelo Alvarez to win this fight fairly easy. You know what I mean? Triple G at this point is just too old. Triple G at this point, you know, him and Canelo Alvarez, they just got too many years in between them, too much distance, too many years in between them. I don't see many ways that Triple G could win this fight outside of Canelo Alvarez maybe getting tired and punching himself, you know what I mean, out of this fight. Right, in the back of my mind, right, I hope that Triple G, you know, catches Canelo and knocks him out, you know what I mean, because I feel like Canelo has gotten extremely comfortable, you know, with boxing. I feel like he's gotten extremely comfortable with everything, you know what I mean, you know, that's going on. Bivol was a bit of, you know, a wake-up call, but, you know, there's no shame in losing to Bivol. Right, this fight with Triple G, I'm not really checking for. Nobody really checking for. As you can see, yeah, Robert, I'm pretty sure he's going to sleep. You know, nobody, you know, really excited for this fight. It's not a fight that we're really, you know, this was a fight that this wasn't a fight that we were really clamoring for. Not really a fight that we were really asking for. Again, this fight about 3 or 4 years too late. Like my guy Robert said, Canelo probably gonna come in here, beat the hell out of Triple G, knock him out. But you know, me personally, sadly, right, I'm hoping that this kind of backfired on Canelo Alvarez, like the last fight backfired on him with Bivol. I'm hoping he come in here, you know, expecting to run through Triple G, and I'm hoping Triple G, you know, close his eyes, say a prayer, and he end up catching Canelo Alvarez with something, and there you go, type deal. But break down that prediction. I basically did this because, you know, I pretty much had to give my assessment on it, right? Because it is fight week. Had to do my due diligence to let people know that it's fight week. Really don't expect this fight to be competitive at all. I got Canelo Alvarez winning this fight by knockout. Yeah, I'm going to watch the fight. I would say I'm interested to see what Canelo do afterwards, but I'm pretty sure Canelo probably going to end up fighting somebody else, you know, that we didn't ask him to fight, right? Type deal. But I got Canelo Alvarez winning this fight by unanimous decision. Canelo Alvarez, unanimous decision over Triple G. Hopefully Canelo Alvarez gives us a fight that we want to see in the near future. I doubt it, you know, but wishful thinking, right? But that's all I got. Skinner Hardaway, Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this is the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.